Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you guys are new, my name is Marjorie and I make story times and a whole bunch of other crazy videos. So if you want to be part of our Lumpia family, subscribe, like, comment, and share the video. And today I have for y'all a story time. The story time is going to be about the time that I got into a school fight, physical fight. You'll never guess who I got into a physical fight with. So I'm not gonna tell you right now. You have to listen to the story. So at this time, I was a sophomore in high school, I believe, and my older sister was a senior in high school. So my sister was the one. I relied on my older sister for rights to cut off. But anyways, like I was saying, at this time I was a sophomore in high school. My older sister was a senior, and I relied on my older sister for rides to school because I wasn't able to drive at the time. So anyways, usually what would tend to happen is that I would have to meet her up after school because she would stay. I think she was in a chemistry club, or it was like chemistry tutoring, or she was tutoring people for chemistry or whatever. But she tended to stay after school a lot and tends to be in her chemistry classroom. Or sometimes, she'll stay after school at like Key Club or B-Boy or like any other activities. But either way, we never really went straight home after school. If we really rare if we did, because she was super active. To be able to find her after school, because she's my only ride. If she knows where she's gonna be for sure, like say she has a chemistry project to do and she knows for sure she's gonna be at the chemistry classroom, she'll be like, I'm gonna be at the chemistry classroom, meet me there after school. Or if she knows that she's gonna be at Key Club or wherever she's gonna be, she'll like tell me. But if she doesn't know where she's going to be for sure, like she doesn't know if she's gonna hang out with friends or if she's gonna be at one area or another area, then she'll be like, I'll just text you where I am after school and then you can meet me there, right? Now this specific day, we get into the parking lot early in the morning, and the bell rings for school to start, and I get out of the car. We get out of the car obviously because we're both students at this time, and she tells me she's gonna be at the chemistry class because it was closer to finals, I think, at this point. So everybody was like, rambling to get their grades up, and everybody had like big projects for their finals or whatever. And at this point, it was super important. I remember it was super important to her. So she was like, oh yeah, I have a big project or something at chemistry class. Sorry, I can't even talk. Chemistry class, meet me at chemistry class. At her chemistry class, I was like, oh, okay. So school goes by, and mind you, I didn't have an iPhone. I was a sophomore. I didn't get an iPhone until I was a senior, okay? So I had a regular old phone, okay? And my phone was almost always never fully charged. I don't know why. I don't know who I was texting. It was never really fully charged. It was always at 50%, 70%, 30%. But anyways, lunchtime approaches and I get a text message, right? This day, I think I had 30% within the class or 2 classes before lunchtime, so my phone was already dying. Okay, maybe I had 20%, but I know that my phone was gonna die, and I know it was gonna die after lunch or in the middle of lunch. Okay, it was just like 20 or 10, 15, maybe 30% if anything. And so she texted me at lunch, but my phone dies before I was able to read the text message. So I was like freaking out because that either means that my sister never texts me throughout the day, okay? So if she does, it means it's an emergency. And I'm thinking in my head, maybe it's something that I have to meet her in a different place after school, right? At this school that I went to, they cut the lunches in half. So half of the student population goes to lunch 1, and the other half of the students population at the school go to lunch 2. We were at 2 different lunches at this point. So she was texting me from class, so I couldn't be able to see her. Like if we had the same lunch, I'll be like, oh, I know where you at. I'm gonna ask you what you texting me for, right? But we had different lunches, so I was unable to contact her at all that day. So anyways, after school rolls around and I go straight to her chemistry class because that's the thing that she told me that she was gonna be. And so I go in there and I look around and she's not in there. Now she has friends and chemistry class, and some of her friends know me as her little sister because I'm always there because she's my only right, like I said. And I'm like, hey, have you seen my sister? And then at first they were like, no, she wasn't here. And so I start freaking out. School rolls around and I'm freaking out, low-key freaking out, but I go straight to her chemistry class because, like I said she was supposed to be there, and my phone is dead. This is important, okay? My phone is dead. I have no way to contact her. And I asked her friends if she's been here, or do you know where she is? And then they're like, oh no, she hasn't been here yet. So, okay, I have to admit that I was wrong in this situation. I should have just sat down and waited for her. But I'm an impatient person, okay? So I know there's other possibilities where she could be. She could either be at Key Club, B-Boy, the band room, I don't know why. But, like, she had friends from all over the places. So she would always stay in, like, different places. So I went to those places, right? I went to one area and I checked if she was there, and she wasn't there. What's weird, I think I checked the band room first, which is odd. But I walked across campus and I went to the band room for some reason. I don't know why I did, but I went there, she wasn't there. I went to another area. I don't know if it was Key Club or B-Boy or another area, but I went to another, I think it was a club room, and I went in there and I saw some of her friends that weren't in her chemistry class, but it was just her, like, general friends. I was like, have you seen my sister? And then they were like, oh, she should be at the chemistry class. She headed over there. And then I go in there, so on my way to the chemistry class, I check one more room, okay, just to make sure, because her friend said that she was just on her way there, so maybe I could catch her, like, halfway or whatever. So I check another room, I don't know why, but I did because I had a feeling. I go in there and no one's in there, okay? So then I head into the chemistry class, and she's not in there again, okay? This time I asked the kids again, her chemistry friends, I'm like, have you seen my sister? Did she come in here? This time they're like, yeah, she came in here looking for you. And then they're like, oh, but she just left. She went outside to go look for you. And then, because apparently she went into that chemistry class when I was outside looking for her. And she probably asked them, have you seen my little sister? She's not in here. And then they probably said, oh, she went to go look for you. So we just missed each other, right? So I'm going outside. I don't know why I didn't stay back inside the chemistry class when they said that she was in there already, but she was out. Oh yeah, because they said that she was looking for me. So I went out there to go look for her again. And this time, I walk out of the A building, which is where the chemistry class is. And I head over. I start walking. I don't know where I was thinking of finding her, because they didn't tell me where she was at. They just said that she was trying to find me. But I start walking around campus and I spot her with her group of friends, and she is furious. She is so pissed. You know, like that look that I spot her. We spot each other actually, and she heads towards me, and she's furious with her group of friends. And like I said, she looks like when you tell your mom that you're pregnant, and she's a Latina mom. That look. Yeah, she gave me that look, and she starts like charging at me. She starts charging at me, and she starts charging at me. She gets ahead of her friends, so she's like, they all start walking at like the same pace until she finally sees me and starts walking faster than her friends. She starts charging at me, right? And she starts yelling at me, where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, and I forgot to tell you at this time too, my phone was glitching, okay? So she texted me, I think like 2 or 3 times that time, and my phone will come alive, and then I'll get like a text message. It was the weirdest thing, and it'll die again. So I never got to see what was charging me. She starts yelling at me. She says, why didn't you charge your phone? Why didn't you check your text messages? Why didn't you answer your phone calls? Because apparently she was calling me back this time. Like I said, my phone was acting weird, and it was dying. It was dead, okay? So I couldn't check my phone messages or my phone calls, okay? And she's like, didn't I tell you to stay at the chemistry class? Why didn't you stay at the chemistry class? And there's the reason why she was so mad. You guys are probably wondering, why the hell is she mad? Because it's not like it did anything that bad, honestly. I just like walked around the campus, you know, and there's no really little reason to like get mad because we found each other. She was mad because apparently she was running around the campus looking for me. And my sister to this day has irregular periods. Well, this was before she got into went to doctors. But before she went to doctors, she used to have heavy periods. I mean, like someone like periods were super heavy before she went to a doctor. She went to a doctor already, so right now she's fine. Okay, but before she went to doctors and got everything checked out, she used to have really heavy periods upon days and days. Like, I mean, like someone cut her uterus in half and was like squeezing out blood. Like, it was heavy period. Like, you would have thought that her whole body was just bleeding out. Okay, but she used to sit on the toilet on her period days for like days upon days. Okay, her period was really bad, and on this day she was on her period, which means that she was bleeding 24/7. And then after school, apparently she was running around, and it's bad for her health. I think she's semi-anemic, I don't know, but it's bad for her health. And oh yeah, I thought my phone was gonna die, that's why I stopped. But yeah, she was running around, she was out of breath, and she got mad because that was the reason why she was running. She was mad because apparently I made her run around the campus looking for me when I could have just been waiting in the chemistry class. So her face, my older sister and has we're tan, like my whole family's tan. Okay, so we don't turn red in the face that easily. If anything, I turn red in the face faster than any of my siblings because I'm the least tanned from them. So, but she was red in the face, like her face looked like a tomato, and she was so mad at me. And then all of a sudden, so she's like all up in my face with her breath in my face and everything, and her nose touching my nose or whatever. And she's all yelling at me. She's pissed because she's like, it's bad for my health. And then all you have to see her friends just like backing her up, yelling at me, backing her up, right, saying that what I did was wrong, and I'm not a good sister or something like that, right? And backing her up. And all of a sudden she gets close to me, and her anger gets the best of her, and she shoves me, and I immediately fall on my butt, almost on my back. If it wasn't for my backpack in my way. But I had a backpack, a heavy backpack, and she pushes me. By the way, she's very athletic. She was in volleyball, so she has thick thighs. I have chicken thighs. My people always look at me like I'm malnourished or something. So I have no balance in my legs, and she shoves me, and I almost, like, honestly, on my head and back too, but I had a backpack on. So she shoves me, and like I fall on the ground, and like I skin my palms, right, because it's that heavy. And I guess she didn't see, like, in the heat of the moment, but there was a security guard, like, doing around laps on her bike. Okay, it was a female security guard. And immediately you see the security guard, like, coming towards us. Hey, you can't do that. You can't touch her. That. And the security guard comes to us, and she asks us, what's going on? You can't shove her like that. That's too forceful. And then I guess my older sister did this at defense. She's like, that's my little sister. And so she was like, the security guard was like, that doesn't matter still. You can't touch her like that on the campus. And then so she called me and my older sister back into the principal's office. This is the second time I went to the principal's office in my life, by the way. If you want to hear the very first time I went to the principal's office for something I did, let me know down below. But this is the second time I went to the principal's office in my life. But so she escorts us to the principal's office, and we're just waiting in there. And oh no, not the principal's office, the vice principal's office. What's the vice principal? Or maybe it was the discipline person. But anyway, she escorts us to some office. Maybe I only went to the principal office once, I remember. But yeah, maybe it was the vice principal. But someone, that I was super scared of. Maybe it was discipline. But anyways, we went to the office and we sat down. The security guard was like, sit here, wait for the person to come, right? So the person comes. I honestly can't remember if it was the vice principal or the principal or the discipline person, okay? But they sit down, and they have a phone in front of me and my older sister, right? And then so she asks us, what happened? What happened? I'm starting. She's like, what happened? I heard that you guys got an altercation, a physical altercation. And then my sister tells her what happened, tells her that she was looking for me, and that she was in the heat of the moment. She was so angry that she shoved me, right? And the principal, whatever she was like, okay, I understand, but I have to call your parents. She's like, well, we still have to call your parents. Mind you, our parents work. At this time, my mom worked in an office. She works at home now, so she's here 24/7. But at this time, she worked at the office, and she worked in Irvine, I believe. So this was hella far. And like I said, my older sister at the time was 17, so pretty much an adult, especially in teenager years. You think you're an adult already, right? So she was old enough in her head. She's like, our moms are at work. I mean, our mom is at work, right? And because, like I said, usually, and our dad was always working, so no one was usually at home. We're like, our mom's at work, and no one's at home. So she's like, okay, well then called her work phone. So there was no way of getting out. And honestly, we could have solved this by ourselves without having the freaking school involved. But the school glitching was involved, and they called our moms, right? And my mom hates being called by the school. My dad hates being called by the school too, especially as little as this, because it's a family altercation. Like, siblings are gonna fight. We just got caught on like school grounds. But like, if you're gonna call my mom or my dad during work, like if the school's gonna call them, it better be something important. It better be like your daughter is like in an accident or something. It better not be something dumb like your kids were fighting, because that's what kids do, okay? But yeah, they called our moms anyways, and I think the lady spoke to her first. Like I said, I don't remember if she was the vice principal, the discipline person, or the principal, okay, at this time. But she talks to her mom first, and she explains to her the situation and why she's holding us in her office, right? And then she's like, do you want to speak to your kids? And then so my older sister grabs the phone, and I started bawling at the moment. I actually started bawling when I fell down, okay? So from that moment when I fell down till now, I'm still crying. And so the lady could see that I'm unable to speak, so she hands it. So my sister gets it, right? So my sister talks to my mom, and she explains the situation, blah 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 blah, and then she gives the phone back to the lady, right? And the lady talks to my mom, and she's like, okay, well, this is their first offense. Second offense, we're gonna have to take some discipline actions. They can't be having this violence at school. They can't be having fighting or physical alterations at the school. She shouldn't be touching her, something like that, right? And then my mom was like, okay. My sister hands back the phone to the lady, and she goes, okay, well, are they okay to go home? Or I guess my mom told her that she was my ride, because she was like looking for like who's gonna take us home or whatever, right? Or if someone's gonna come and pick us up. And my mom tells her that my older sister is my ride home. So she's like, are they okay to go ride by themselves, like drive home? And my mom says, yeah, they're fine. So the lady lets us go with just a warning, and we head to the car, and we head home. And this whole time, and mind you, I'm still bawling, I'm still crying, but it's silent in the car. And we head home, and we wait till our mom gets home, right? And then my mom gets back home, then I start crying again, because then we start fighting and blah blah blah. And then my mom asks again what had happened, and then we tell her